Hello, I'm TJPJ Music, and I'm going to be bringing you a tutorial on compression. I'm going to start with a basic explanation of what compression is. Compression is basically where you tell the computer when the volume on this track goes above this point, then drop the volume. But you can control it more than just that. The limiter is your basic compressor that pretty much only drops the volume like that. We're going to be compressing a kick because kicks seem to be compressed a lot, and it's very useful to be able to compress a kick properly. So we're going to just put 4 beats on this kick. It doesn't matter what kick you use. This is just a basic FL Studio kick. I'm just going to link it to the first track here and listen. You've got pretty simple sound there. Now, first thing you want to do with any kick is EQ it. So the basic kick sound looks like this. And we're going to drop down right there. Pop it up there, pop it up there, drop it down a bit there. What I'm doing here is there's a bit in the middle here. So if you look at the kick, you've got thick, like high frequency, mid frequency, low frequency. I'm trying to figure out what this little frequency right in here is and cut it out. And then I'm boosting this high frequency up here and this low stuff down here. Now, I've got some experience with this specific kick, so I know that I want to drop it a little bit there. But the end result is that it looks like this. Each kick will be EQ'd differently, and I might do a tutorial on EQing kicks at some point. But we've got our basic EQ'd kick now. Next step is add a compressor. You can use any compressor you want. I'm going to be doing this on the Fruity Compressor. And so on the Fruity Compressor, you've got 6 controls. Some compressors will have more, some will have less, but the basic controls are the same. You've got your threshold, which is the volume at which the kick, or whatever it is, gets reduced. Like the sound hits that volume. Now you're going to reduce it by this ratio. This ratio tells you how much you want to reduce. The attack then says, okay, it's going to take us this much time to get to full reduction. Sometimes it'll mean it's going to take us, if there's a delay, sometimes that'll mean we're going to wait this long before we even start trying to reduce. The release is how long it takes before it will allow full volume to come back again. So, and then the gain allows you to regain lost volume, because the idea here is cut out volume. So the gain, you're going to use the gain to bring back what you've lost after you've changed the sound with the compressor. Then the type here just controls the curve, basically. I tend to just use hard and soft. I actually use soft more, but so we're going to look at this. So basic sound, it's identical to the original sound. You don't notice a difference at all. And if I bring the threshold down, for instance, still no difference. The reason for that is we haven't told it what we want it to do when it hits that threshold. So now I'm gonna put it up to about 2.6, which means that the sound is going to be dropped by 1 over 2, like it's going to become 1 over 2.6 of what it was before. So now when we listen, you can see that the lower you put the threshold, the quieter it becomes. Next we're going to look at the attack. I'm going to set this to about negative 20 decibels. Now if we look at the attack, one thing you'll want to look at throughout this is right here, you can see the waveform of the kick. And it'll tell you a lot about what's actually happening. Wish I could make it bigger. I might later edit it to be bigger. You can also see it up here. Anyways, I'm going to set the attack to about 40 milliseconds. There we go. Now we've got the release. If we bring the release all the way down, this is what we get. We can see a small gap right between where the kick initially hits and then that after sort of kick. So it's just cutting out right about here. If I raise the release up all the way, it's actually long enough that it's catching the beginning of the next kick, and we're not actually getting anything different. This is something you'll run into if you get to these points in the song where you start doing this, or you're adding a beat in. The compression from this beat is going to catch this next beat. You don't want that. To deal with that, you're just going to create a duplicate kick, duplicate compressor, but it's going to be a separate compressor, and then the two won't interfere. And you have to put it on a separate mixer track as well. So now when we listen to it, total sound is like this. Now I'm going to make it a little louder so you can actually see what's going on there. That's really loud, but hope it's not too loud. I'm just going to leave the gain at 0. So hope that was helpful. I might do a different compressor at another point as well. The one I tend to use most is the classic compressor. Sometimes I'll use this one, the TDR feedback compressor, but that one's a pain because when you open up a new project with it, it won't open. It fails to open properly, but it looks like this. It'll show you the curve. So here's the ratio. Here's the threshold. And you can see the ratio curves like that. There's no change at all, or a massive amount of change with the 8-to-1. And you've got the knee, which is controlling a curve. That's basically the same as the hard, soft, etc. Controlling that curve. And in this case, you've got 2 releases. Most of the time, you've just got the 1. And the attack, again, as well. In this case, it's only this one also gives you a wet mix, so you can tell it you want it to be not all compressed sound, but some of the dry to get through, for instance. But it's up to you what you want to use. There are tons of another one that is I use a lot is Maximus. It looks like this, and you've got a lot more control with it. You can drag stuff around, etc. And you've got different frequency bands you can work with. So I can make it sound like this if so you can see I can like spike it up. Now it's not much is getting through there, but like I can change the volume curve with this. Don't really want to get into doing that, but yeah, hope that was helpful, and peace out.